everyone, this is Satyajit Das, and in this video I'm going to give you my top 10 tips while applying for Global Talent Visa for UK.
It's a passport visa, usual drill.
So what is Global Talent Visa? This is basically one of the most flexible visas to be on. You don't need any sponsorship from any company or anybody, and you are basically free to do whatever you want in UK except being a sports person or being a doctor. So this is one of the best visas to be on.
We could get him a work visa.
So a little bit about me. I applied for this visa in late 2018 and I got it within like 3 months of applying.
MasterCard Visa.
So there are 2 stages of application. So first you apply for endorsement, and there are like 5 different endorsing bodies endorsing in 5 different areas. So you can apply in technology sector or in scientific sector or in arts, or there are a few other areas as well. So in my case, I applied in digital technology sector. And from my experience of successful application, I would like to give you my top 10 tips. So the first tip is to really check the documents very, very well. So they give a list of documents which they expect. So every endorsing body gives their own respective documents list, which they expect before they can decide whether to endorse you or not. And the next stage is actually the applying for the visa, which is much simpler process. So first tip is to really check the documents extremely well and figure out if you can get these type of documents or not. The second tip is to give yourself at least 2 months of time to really prepare, because there are like at least 15 documents and it takes a while to decide on these documents and fully arrange them. So don't think you can do it in like a couple of weeks. I mean, it usually takes time. So be mentally prepared that it will take time and some effort. Third tip is, in case you think your profile is not up to the mark or you cannot provide all the documents that is required, then you can still work hard and reach that level in a year's time or so, because some of the requirements are not really as hard. Anyone can start from now and be at a good stage in a year's time. My fourth tip is pick the more successful referee. So in general, during an application, they require at least 3 recommendation letters, and it really matters how successful is the person who is recommending you. So if you have like 5 recommenders, like 5 potential recommenders, and you are supposed to pick 3, then pick the most successful ones. Because usually they also like to see how successful that person is himself who is recommending you. Also, don't forget to remind them what you did so that they put all the important points about you or your work when they actually write recommendation letter. Next tip is to make your personal statement letter as easy to understand as possible. If you think a particular sentence is making it slight bit of confusing, then it's better to just get rid of it, because whoever is probably looking at it, he doesn't really have that much time. And if it is confusing, then it becomes harder to make a proper judgment on your abilities. So it's better to make it as easy to understand as possible. Next is list all your possible documents. I mean, you don't have to finalize at the beginning. Just list all of them and pick the top 10 documents. The top 10 documents which truly show your profile as the best possible manner. So you don't have to get it right at the first attempt. You just list all the documents and then pick and choose. Next tip is to get advice from previous successful applicants. So you can ask around people. If you have specific doubts, you can ask around in Facebook or in LinkedIn or in Reddit, and somebody will reply to it. So there are like many Facebook groups in UK or outside, and it might be worth asking there in those groups, so that there are chances that there is somebody who already has this visa is also a part of that group. So this is one way of reaching out to previous applicants. You can also reach out to them through LinkedIn, but just be sure that you're not spamming them and you're asking like very specific questions. Next tip I have for you is to pick the top achievement rather than the field itself. So if you have a great achievement in a field slightly different than the field you're applying to. Let's say in my case, I had a patent in mechanical engineering field, but I applied for digital technology field. So it's not exactly in the same field, but that's a bigger achievement than certain things I had done in digital technology sector. So I ensured I included that patent as one of my documents because this is a good enough achievement and it shows that I can do well in a particular field, even though it's not directly related to the field I'm applying to. It is still, as long as it's a bigger achievement, it should count. Next tip I have for you is, in case you are struggling to fit in an important document, because you can only give like total 10 important documents. So if I have like an 11 document which you somehow want to make it part of your application, you can put it online and give that link in your personal statement. Okay, so that it still is part of your application in some way, and the person who is actually looking at them, actually looking at your application, he can still have a look at your extra document if he wants. Next tip I have for you is just don't get overwhelmed. It's hard task to get 15 documents over a period of 2 months, and especially when you are waiting for your recommenders to give you their recommendation letters, that can take time. So it's important to not to get overwhelmed and have patience. Important thing to remember is not to give up. It is hard, but it is worth it. Final tip is, if you are really short on time and if you can afford, then it might make sense for you to get some help from an immigration agency. So what they do sometimes is they help you in deciding and finalizing your documents. They help you with your personal statement, and in case you need to reapply for it in future, in case your first application isn't successful, they help you in the reapplication as well. So in case you are really running short of time and you can afford, then it may make sense to go to an immigration solicitor. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to get referred to an agency. So these are all of my top tips, and good luck with your application, and feel free to like and subscribe if you like this video. Thanks.